Om Shanti. Welcome, soul to soul. And we're going to look at resilience and the power to face. So what are the main factors that make someone resilient? Day by day there are more and more challenges in the world. Actually, the challenges are really good things for us, because it's the challenges, and we can't get away from them. We either decide that we're not going to do anything about it, but then that's fine, but we still can't not do anything about it. They're still going to come. And it's the challenges that give us the strength and courage within ourselves to know that we can do it and to move forward. Without the challenges, you would think you could never do anything. So more and more challenges come day by day. Meditation can help me to develop a stable mind so that I can face whatever is happening with courage and coolness. And when my mind becomes too busy with questioning over little things, it exhausts my energy. So what then would be your inner chant to stay resilient in the face of obstacles? So to have power, we all want power within ourselves, strength. And it isn't the same as force, because when I have power, it means I'm understanding myself. And I can develop a natural attitude of self-study. And it's a good habit. It becomes a very good habit to be looking at my inner world and paying attention to the quality of my thoughts and feelings. And when I do this, I can see worries and fears. And then I can have a look and see and catch a hold of the old habit of blaming others. Because you see, there's no use for me to blame others. It's always to do with how I use my energy in any interaction. And however others are that I'm blaming, that's how they're using their energy. But it's useless to be blaming them. And so I can begin to see that it's ego and lack of self-respect that make me want to hold on to these old, familiar habits. And soul awareness has really lifted my vision of myself. And no matter how others see or treat me, teach myself to smile. I can gently stay aware and keep my dignity and maintain my dignity. It's the company of the divine, a pure and peaceful soul, that gives me the courage to do this. I'm ready to be honest with myself. But this will be an ongoing process, and every day I see things that I need to clean up. And this brings relief and relaxation to the self. And I can begin to see negativity from a distance. I become far-sighted, and I'm more prepared and ready to face any challenge. So power isn't the same as force. It comes from understanding myself. And I can develop a natural attitude of self-study.
to be able to see negativity from a distance? Does that take a lot of practice? Like, do you need to become really powerful and resilient to do that, or does it start steadily?
I think that we just didn't notice before, because you get feelings, and you get feelings, you could call them feelings of anxiety, or feelings of something that isn't quite right, awkwardness, and you can see that before it actually happens, and you can see if someone's ready to be negative with you. So you see it, you might call it from a distance, so you've got a chance to think before you react.
So it's like you're more just tuned into your own feelings,
Yeah.
you're aware of your own feelings,
Yeah.
rather than some special power.
Yeah.
Okay. And power, not force. I would never have thought that I wanted power, but now practicing meditation, I can see that that's really what was lacking. So what is the difference between, how do I know when I'm slipping into force and not using proper spiritual power? What's the difference?
Well, spiritual power means that I don't have to prove to myself that I'm powerful. I don't have to force my ego to do something and sort of hope that it'll work. It doesn't matter if it works or not, if I have my self-respect and I do what I feel to be right at that moment, and I have the strength to do what I feel to be right, that is power.
So resilience and the power to face, probably the biggest thing, the biggest challenge for most people, they would say, would be to face death, probably, probably death of a loved one, or just loss of a loved one in some way, even someone leaving, like having a broken heart. What would you say about that? How can people overcome that incredibly sort of intense emotion?
Well, usually if someone's died, or if a broken heart has come from the loss of someone who has gone that you were madly in love with, for instance, it's the feeling of loss. And it's the loss within the self that, if you really look, you'd see that you got used to the companionship, you got used to them being in part of your life, and you got used to their nature, and you got used to all the nice things about them, but you might have taken it for granted as well. And it's when they go that you realise how much they were part of your way of living. And then when you realise that, you could have a huge sense of loss and regret. This is when people say, I wish I had, I wish I'd done, I wish I'd said, if only I had, or if only I hadn't said that, if only I hadn't done that. But by that time it's too late, because whoever it is has either died or moved on. And if they've moved on, they're also now getting themselves sorted out in some other way. And so there's not a lot you can do about it there. And so you've done, it's like whatever you've done, you're now having the result. And so to comfort yourself, to think that, well, that's the way it was, and that's the way it is. And so you have to have a look at yourself and kind of pull yourself together if you can. It could take a while, it depends on the relationship. Some relationships can take you for years to pull yourself together over, and sometimes people will never pull themselves together over it. It depends on the individual, but I found that meditation helps you see, and it's not always easy to see your own selfishness. And if you could see that you created a lot of chaos yourself, or you created a big loss for yourself. If someone died, it wasn't your fault, but you might regret that you didn't value them more when they were there. So it's always to do with the way we feel ourselves, and to make the most of it. Don't give ourselves a hard time for too long, because there's no good outcome in that. Okay. And to be humble enough to own up to, if you can. But the one thing about death, for instance, when I started to do meditation, I discovered that you could remember that one and value it. For me, I had a very severe death experience as a child, and I didn't know anything about meditation, but when I found out about meditation, I realized that it was to say thank you for having been there when you were there, and just to be so thankful for having had that relationship. And you could say that's the same with the feeling of a broken heart. Thankful for having been you while you were there. Now that you're not there, well, that's life in a way. I have to face that. So really, we have to have the power to face. And the power to face means that I've been involved there. And if I pretend it's someone else's blame always, then I'm going to continue with a broken heart and the sense of loss. When I face up to the fact that, I was heavily involved there, then it can help to make me feel better about myself. And when I appreciate someone else's energy having gone into helping me to be happy, this is a huge, huge wonder. And so this is a wonder of the power to face.
It's interesting because as you're talking about resilience and the power to face, it's actually not a tough thing, it's a really soft thing, the way you're speaking.
Yeah.
So facing something's actually, it's kind of like, you use the word accepting.
Making it work.
So how does meditation fit in with that? How is it more than just like talking it through, or is meditation kind of like talking it through?
Well, you talk it through with yourself to begin with, and if you have a connection with the divine, you put it out there to say, I've made so many mistakes and they've hurt so many people, and how can I put it right? You can't put right that what's gone wrong, because it's in the past, it's happened, but you can make it feel better in the present, and you can put out good wishes and good feelings, and also lots of respect and thank you for having been there. These kind of thoughts, which must help someone else as well, because you appreciated them. Otherwise they feel, well, that was a waste of my time. How did they never even appreciated me? But actually you did. You just didn't realise how much you appreciated them.
So the whole journey of meditation is about self-improvement and understanding. And you said at the beginning, challenges are good because they help you move forward. So it's like, even when I'm comfortable and it's a nice day, there's still probably plenty in my backdrop that I could surface and have a look at.
Yeah. So there's never enough time in the day, actually. It's quite good, that, actually. Yeah. There's lots of stuff, and it will keep making me feel discomfort if I haven't brought it to the surface and began to say thank you, actually, about it. Yeah. Realise that I really wasn't so good as I might like to think I was. Whereas my ego will tell me I was right, I was right, I was right. Everyone else was not right, they were bad, they were this, that, the next thing. But no, I was also involved there, and I might even have been the one who caused the problem. So, the power to face my own self. Okay. So we have some meditation. Okay. So we sit comfortably and we keep our eyes open and we focus on the energy in the center of the forehead. I'm a soul. Point of living life energy. And I think of the one above, a pure and peaceful soul that gives me the courage to do this. And I see that I'm now ready to be honest with myself. The process is ongoing, and I can see things every day that I didn't see before. I begin to be able to see negativity from a distance because I see the old habits start to begin to want to come forward again. That denial, that blaming others. And I now know it's not true. I feel more prepared and ready to face life and the challenges of life. I'm a soul, point of living energy, a being of peace. Peace is our original nature and our greatest treasure. Om Shanti.